Hello. That still feels a little bit loud. Why does that feel loud? Is my ears just being funky? I think my ears are just being a little funky. Why are we staring at each other? That feels a little weird. How's everyone doing? I feel very weirdly positioned. Hold on. Oh, where? Right, I know what that was gonna say. How's people doing? How's existence? We doing good? We having fun? We're having fun. Have it peaked? Now why did my brain turn that into something dirty? I know what you mean. Congratulations. You've done that good. What? 1 second. What? Oh, don't act like you're surprised my brain went there, but maybe act like you're surprised that of potentially what I could be meaning here. I just... Oh, maybe that got fixed. I typed stuff in and it didn't accidentally strip me. Ah, that's fun. I can potentially do math. No, I cannot safely do math without risking my clothes coming off. That is still always a possibility. That will never not be a possibility. The unfortunate things of how I have done key bindings. The very unfortunate thing as to how I have done key bindings. But hey, it makes it funny. Very funny. Annoying to it. What the hell? Oh, that is. About it. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's not really a topic to make jokes about or throw around. I feel like okay, you can make, you know, that. On one hand, you can make the jokes about it, but I feel like trying to just throw that out there, like, oh my god, like someone's gonna come into chat at some point later and be like, oh my god, that true? Oh my god, that true? Oh my god, that true? When it's not. Like, I've had that happen for something far less severe, because that's just gonna linger in chat there for a while, and then someone can see that and try and be like, and I'm just like, I don't. That is not something I want people to be even, you know. The misinformed joke. Yeah, no, yeah. But, yeah. Considering, what is it? I've had someone jokingly say, whatchamacallit, just try and say that I work at GameStop. That lingered in chat, and then someone else showed up and was like, Loon works at GameStop? And I was like, I don't, this one I feel is a more severe case of, I don't want that as misinformation lingering in chat there. Ugh. Stop, wait, why are we telling me to stop? Hold on. Again, Loon stop buffer, a preserved version of anything of Destiny in its prime. 1 second, whoosh. I'm just gonna put that there. Ugh. Just gonna put that there. Hello, Zora. How you doing? Are you in bed right now? This is a bit late for you. Are you the sleepy? Are you having yourself a nice little time in the ways of sleep? No. Oh, that's more than usual for you. I should be awake in time. Only barely. Only barely. I got out of bed approximately 7 minutes before the stream was started, and then had to turn on the computers. And then still had to set up the Twitch side of things. Not that I think that's too important around here, but, you know, I still managed to do that. And then I had to drink some NyQuil just because my throat's been... That's a thing. This entire past week, I guess one of the announcements, this is kind of a announcement slash thing that will be happening. This is probably going to be the only stream this week, just because I have been very tired. And my throat's been hating me lately. There have been several nights this past week where I've been like, oh, okay, stream's over. I'm now going to take NyQuil because my throat feels like I have been getting horrendous. My throat has had horrendous stuff doing stuff. Without your daily dose of Loon. Oh, and if only I had approximately almost 4 years of... If only I had 4 years of content for you to potentially backlog watch. Not good. I'm not even really forcing myself, is the thing. It's, I want to. It's, how is the wording? I've heard it worded this way. Of, streaming can be a little bit addicting. And... for certain things, you need to whatchamacallit. Yeah, streaming can be a little addictive. That's why you're not in bed. Oh, you're in a friend's bed. Yeah, throw a muffin? I wish I had a muffin right now. Muffin would be real nice right about now. Muffin. But yeah, there's, whatchamacallit. There's other stuff I want to work on. I'm not going to be completely not doing anything for the channel. I just, with a glass of milk. Why skip the glass and just shove the udder in my mouth? I will suckle straight from teat. But think about the withdrawal symptoms for it. That's kind of... I mean, the whole thing... I need to better allocate the time. No, you're not in their bed. Oh, come on. You're just doing that. You... The fun little here. I still have my broken light bulb that I took out during the peak stream. That's fun. Can I just say that this is a weird phenomenon around this channel? I don't know if this is a thing of this channel or if this is just a thing. I guess we can just do some talking. There were some other things I wanted to talk about in regard before the announcement, because I have physical notes about the announcement and such. Shush. What was I about to say? I genuinely forgot what I was about to say. No, I'm tempted to make... There are a few things I wanted... Oh yeah, no, the weird, whatchamacallit. The weird phenomenon. I don't know why this happens, but for some reason, any type of collaboration stream has very, very, very regularly been like bottom performer on the channel and for any type of viewer metric wise. I think I have a vague idea as to why that is, but literally this past month, the two collaboration streams I did were literally the bottom for engagement live. I'll poke the eyes out. Oh. Now I kind of want to just see you try that, Zora. That'd be funny. You like to? I know that you like that, but apparently I don't know what it is exactly. If YouTube doesn't like it, or if the people I collab with, we have too much of an overlap in audience, and therefore it's like splitting up who's going where. Yeah, that's just a weird phenomenon. If I look at the numbers, it's like, oh yeah, any type of collaboration thing, this, you know, it is literal bottom of every stream I have done in the past month. Not like view count-wise. Did it actually? Hold on. I do want to check that. Where was that? Where's that? This. Go here into the live. Okay, not quite bottom. Oh, that's interesting. I guess that one came up. But yeah, the peak and the repo streams were, I think the only stream that is being listed as below them was the random but nope, that Dead by Daylight was technically also had a collab in it. That's actually kind of funny. The impromptu collab with Remy in that one Dead by Daylight stream. So yeah, any stream that is even related to a collab is just for some reason bottom of the like watch time metrics during the liveness. I know it looks like Wu Chang Fallen Feathers did poorly. That actually held people well live quite well, just not a lot of people saw that. Yeah, little Rim the bunny. The bunny steal the watch time. She's on Twitch. She literally can't even steal the YouTube watch time. What did you miss? Not much. There's a reason the announcement is happening around the 45-minute mark. Other than, I guess you missed that this is gonna probably be the only stream for the week, just because for many, just some things. I don't appear I don't even know that would still not explain. No, I think I know the reason is because most of the time people come around here for chat engagement type stuff. And if it's a collab, that just happens less. Even if I think the content is actually, like, some of the collab stuff is actually quite funny and enjoyable. But if people are here for the, you know, people are more here for the chat engagement and stuff like that, and maybe that's more, you know, at least that's my theory. And again, there is like a bit of an audience overlap. Like, I know digital, I know you bounce around between a lot, and like across YouTube and Twitch as well. Whatchamacallit? And other people will bounce between like either my chat or Venvy's chat, or prioritize one or the other, or not at all, you know? Ugh. Big clip. Yeah, I thought it was very funny, very, very good. But again, it just did not. Like, it just didn't. I guess it just didn't is a good way of describing what it did, because it really did. Yeah, it just was not. It was not the holding of people very much. Although I will say that collab led to me having pain in my face for a full day because I was way too giggly during it. Wait, whatever we introduce to a streamer by just rating or adding the chat. That's bad. Wait, Zach, I don't even know what the hell yours was. Whenever I get introduced to a streamer by just rating or adding the channel YouTube at. Introduce me via the other. Less recommends the video. Interesting. Is Landfall the developer that? Oh god, I spat water all over stuff. Is Landfall the Peak developer, or is that something else? Was I in a game that was? Oh no, because I shut the computer down. Oh, Landfall. Yeah, that's the publisher, not. That's the publisher, not the developer. I don't know the difference between those exactly, but yeah, no, that is. Yeah. Heart of Aspiration. Everything is okay. It is mostly fine. I will simply say mostly. They didn't with another developer. They're the publisher, not the developer. How's everyone? Doing fine. Doing fine. Bit tired, but yeah. There is one small announcement I'm just gonna keep repeating every so often. Here is. And you're stupid, only a little bit, and only in certain cases. But hey, we all are. Ah, hello, Dan. But yeah, the thing I'm repeating this every so often is this is probably the only. Whatchamacallit? This is the only stream that will likely be happening, or I'm gonna at least even try to force myself. There's probably gonna be a point during the week where I'm gonna want to stream at some point. I'm going to have to force myself not to. I'm also going to need to make a few community posts to ask some stuff for the actual announcement that happened. We're talking to your friend for a bit. You ain't talking to your friend for a bit and didn't cuddle up in bed or anything like that, right, Zora? Oh. They create a cluster. What? I actually don't. What is the difference between? Hold on. Okay, Tabs was developed. Tabs was developed by Landfall as well. Whatever the hell. Content warning was. Not developed. That appears to be for just general people, I think. Oh, shut up. Look, if you try... Look, we tease each other, okay? Look, Look, the teasing can go back and forth here. Apparently, I'm just in a mood to actually throw it back to you. And Landfall did actually develop... What is it? Haste? Yeah, they did not develop... Yeah, they developed cluster. They actually developed cluster structure. They actually developed tabs. They didn't develop Peak. They were just the publisher on that, which I think just. I don't actually know. Ugh. You don't talk. No. You do whatever you need. If you need my tired voice in your background while I'm doing this.
If thou schedules a stream, must I convince thee to not do that?
Okay. I know the idea of it being over chat is a little bit trickier to do, but you know, look, the whole the back and forth is the fun part. I enjoy what is it? It's gonna sound terrible, but the more I get to know people, the more is like, yes, where are your limits on being able to be my verbal punching bag so that we can potentially go back and forth? Where are the lines? What can people take? Is it bad news? Yes, that's worse. It is. I'll just tell you this. It is nothing to be concerned about. The main announcement that this is referring to is good one. But like I said, this entire week is going to be off of streaming just because, like I said, have I been enjoying the streaming this week? Yes, but my throat genuinely feels like it has been aggressively fucked every time for pretty much since middle of the week. Which, considering, hold on, how many? Let's just see consecutively. Limbus streams, a little over 6 hours. Peak, just shy of 5 hours. We can round that to like 11 hours. Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, about 16 hours. Will Fall and Feather, that actually still went for 4 hours. 20 hours, then 6 hours of Hollow Knight, 26 hours. In addition to attempting to do anything else with my life, plus I also have a full-time job. Do to record Torture Doll. 26 hours of streaming while I also do full-time job and also try and do anything else. Like this week I still managed to at some point. No, that was just yesterday, so I didn't stream it all. That's how I did that in. You're the punching bag. I don't know where your trigger buttons are. Like there's a lady, there is a lady. Do I even sleep? Yes. In very segmented things. If you're ever wondering how in the hell, so roughly, it's not quite, roughly 40 hours of work for full-time job plus 26 hours of streaming plus any time, because wasn't super long, but I did have to make the thumbnails and all the setup. Before every stream I have to redo the starting screen to do the scheduling stuff. You have learned you can't take being teased. Yes, for those who... if you only throw the stones from the glass house if you don't mind it being broken. They're very durable. Insert gif of Hulk smashing Loki. Yes, let me test out this digital. I cannot escape taxes. Taxes aren't that horrible. Look, I can. Do you know how many Steam games I've had that I can do as tax write-offs? I'm pretty sure I can do all of the gacha I've done as tax write-offs as well. God, that would be the most... This would be the weirdest audit by the IRS that I would be able to... that would happen. It was like, what are you doing all this for? Look, here's my setup. This is how I exist. That's another thing. I haven't had much time to work on it, but I did... Yesterday, the first day off in a while, I still spent some time testing some stuff I want to try out on a new model of myself. That I have, like, the baseline done. The Don Quixote. I've told the story... I told the story about how my grandparents got audited some years ago, right? Did I tell that on stream, or was that only, like, in... I forget if I told that in a call with my mods or if I told that on stream. My grandparents got audited by the IRS. I forget if this was sometime before I was born, but yeah, they that's a funny story. That's a funny story. I would think honestly, just whatchamacallit. There's a certain point where I would think it's not even worth the resources it takes them. Like, I would think they would need to actually have enough money, or be able to get enough money out of a thing for them to consider you worth auditing. And I would think that would be relatively high, because I imagine, like, the IRS's time is relatively highly valuable. Excuse me, it's, like, relatively valuable. Guess not entirely, though. I will... That will account to the tax write-offs that are technically... No, it's an expense made. What is it? Technically, I believe it can be classified as a business expense because I did it on stream for the sake of entertaining the people. So I just, like, keep my records of all this. Like, what is it? I know last year I only did a write-off for my Go XLR. I could have done more, but I only did a write-off for the Go XLR on that one, and that was quite helpful. But this year, I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, yeah, we can do that. Ooh. we can make some adjustments here. So technically money laundering. It's not money laundering. It's legal because it is definitely still, whatchamacallit? It is the stuff of the brain is not functioning. It's for the purposes of this stuff. For the 10th time, pull it. Who am I fisting? That's not what I'm doing right now. No, that is legal stuff. Like it is business. It is technically quote unquote business expense because I get the tax stuff from the tax documentation from YouTube. And yeah, it is legal. I am not committing law violation. The Hiroshi announced you're very happy. I'm happy for you, Pat Pat. Oh, my look, when you say committing WO this, that's all I think of is just how it always looks like she's fisting with how she do. You know, the one fist go in and then commit massive discharge. You don't normally discharge from your fist. She should probably get that looked at. I mean, hey, so was I until I got like 3 more. Ugh. Yeah, with how good time is a hell of a thing that I wish I had some. That I wish I had some level of more of to work on some stuff. Even when I have, even when I have some time. This is me going back off into this topic. There are times where I find even when I have time off, because of how much time I spend doing stuff that is not, like, strictly relaxation, I am often just kind of sitting here like, oh, I don't want to do anything because I've been doing so much other stuff, so even... I could not tell you that one 15 minutes. Roughly, yes. Yes, the sunflower. I'm never gonna call it the proper thing. Sunflower is what I call it. The sunflower Brit, who I will always make Australian because because my throat decides it. Doing nothing. Yeah, I can never let myself get too comfortable, even though. You know, I genuinely is just, like I put it, like I just mathed out how much I did with the stream and stuff, and then even on the one day I wasn't streaming, I was still trying to do some work on stuff. I do tend to feel guilty as well, letting myself like, oh, just take some relaxation time. And it's just like, this probably ain't the way to do things. This probably ain't the way to do things, but it's very difficult to try and manage what I want to put, because I have the problem of I want to do so much, but I am but one person. I want to do so much. I need to figure out like what is priority and what should be, you know. Yeah, what is priority, what needs to be done, what needs to be done first. I think one of the things I need to work on first, like I don't know if I'll do what I did last time, which for those who weren't around in the sub 100 sub era, you know, all those years ago at this point, is, you know, there is a point of I need to not let myself fall into that, because I know if I let myself get too comfortable, it's just gonna be, I will fall into a trap. Like, this is a weird thing of, I've kind of broken this mentality or gotten to a better place with it, where I used to, I guess even still, pretty much I don't interact with people unless it is for work or for collabs. And even collabs I found as a dangerous thing for a while, because the way I would word it is, it's addicting to want to spend just casual time with people, And I'd rather not have that, just because it's like, oh yes, people that there are other reasons for that. Is I don't know. In the past, I've had problems with, oh, I go from being lonely to finding people, and it's just like, oh my god, people who will have me here, and then it turns out I hate the people eventually, and then I end up, first off, welcome back. And then I will end up eventually hating the people, but it's like, oh, these are like the only people I have, I don't want to, and then it's like, I prolong the thing of just me being miserable around people I hate, but it's like, these are the people who have accepted me. Nowadays, I'm not as much in that position. I'm a bit more picky with who I even let into an inner circle, or it's like, if I, quote, yeah, I'm a little, like I said, I'm a bit more selective with who I even let into that. Now, the problem is that is all I do. I almost never directly interact with people off of that. My mouth is bleh. Which I want to try and do a little bit more of. Oh yeah, that doesn't work too much. No, that's more where I am. But yeah, no, the bigger part of what I was saying is, like, the people I used to, I could have fun with some people, but it was like, there were a lot of times I'd spend time around people I didn't like. That's not true for all the groups of people I would spend time with, whether it be, in either in the Discord call or stuff. Shut in quite a bit. Ooh. I consider myself somewhat of a shut-in. I can still go out, can engage in the world. Not to the same extent as Furret is. And actually, no, I much prefer... There are some nights... I haven't done it in a while, again, just because I've been trying to find time to sleep. Sleep has been the biggest thing where I'm trying to figure out how to slot stuff in. But taking very late night walks just out in a... What do we call it? What is it? I have a nearby park that I go, like, to take walks in from the hours of 1 a.m. till 3 a.m. And just the calm being in nature, in the darkness, hearing nothing but just the nature noises. It's a beautiful thing. Very calming thing. But oftentimes lately I've been like, oh, time to find a time to commit sleep, which is a difficult thing to do sometimes. Face and nose word. Did I just click on thing? No, I didn't. COVID definitely messed people's heads up a bit, but I was kind of already like that. Or in the middle of the night. I swear there are times, maybe it's suspicious, but it's like also, you know how sometimes people can confuse me? I've told the story where I was just out at night. I think that this night I had my hair tied up and I was wearing my glasses, and I always think my glasses make me look slightly more effeminate. Maybe that's just a me thing. But there was a car. I was just kind of standing there for a while enjoying stuff. And this was one where it was like 10 or 11 p.m., so not wee hours. Also, welcome back, Zora. But not like the super wee hours. So a car just comes driving by, because there's a road by like one of the entrances to the naturey part of the thing. And they just slowly drive by and then stop like 10, 15 feet past me. And then I just kind of, they just sat there for a while, and I'm just like, I'm just going to go into the wooded area of this park where it's a bit more, there's trees and nature there. And as I'm going into there, you kind of have to go up over a hill. I peek over the hill, and I'm just like, okay, they are still just kind of sitting there. And I just go deeper, and I'm just like, interesting. Well, this is, I don't like this. And, oh my god, I like, the way I word it this way is, there are some frog noises that really sound like people when you're paranoid. I rarely do tie my hair up out of the way. It's just very, I don't know. I tend to not do that. I tend to not do that very often. Yes, frogs. Yeah, some of the noises when you're more paranoid. A little bit of the creepy. A little bit of the creepy. Now we need art of that. Well, hey, maybe there'll be there'll be time for that at some point. God, I hope, like, all I'm gonna say is I hope I can motivate myself to properly finish up a new model, because that one, I like what this one has been and what it's done. It's very flawed and is very clearly, like, I don't know. It's definitely serviceable, does what it needs to be. It's expressive as I want it to be, which is the main thing I care about whenever I make models or anything, is how expressive they can be. Also, you're in bed now. Congratulations, you finally fulfilled my prediction from way earlier. Whatchamacallit? I'm presuming that's I don't know, only 5 minutes. But yeah. The main thing I'm hoping is also I'm simply hoping I can transfer. This is not the folder I wanted to open. Yes, it is. Let me check this myself. 9 situation. Man, why is it always 9? What did Elijah Wood ever do to anyone? Yeah, I'm hoping I can get this done at some point, because even what the hell is, because this is no longer a stream. Oh well. That's fun. That's also, you'll figure out. Oh, that's interesting. That I'll just say, that's interesting, and we'll leave it at that. We shall indeed just leave it at that, I guess. Ooh. Zoro with the triple. What the hell is that emote? What is that emote called? I don't. Wait, what is it called? Face? Fushia tongue out. Fushia? YouTube and its emote names are lovely. Oh, Daddy! Oh, okay, that was a slightly delayed "oh, Daddy." Go by quick. Time is in a weird place for me right now, where at the same time as it feels like it's going incredibly quickly, it also feels like it is still. They are screaming dinosaurs? So they're you. If you were a dinosaur instead of a spider, and if instead of ASMR you were a metalhead. So literally the exact opposite of you in most ways. In 2026, I will say I've had the wrong age in my brain for a while. Oh, you don't get to choose. My brain is just messed. Does that make sense? Not in the slightest, but it's time. It's a weird thing. Time is indeed a weird thing. Time is indeed a very weird thing. Oh. Ow. Mwah. Thank you, random car who felt like showing off your very loud, whiny engine. Very cool. No one cares about you. So about to pass out. Oh, it's Fertie's birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Fertie! I don't know why that's what I was gonna do. Happy birthday to the happy birthday to the Machoke. Fertie's a Machoke now, I guess. I was trying to say mitosis child, and then my brain just decided it didn't wanna. What the hell is that one? Oh. Well, happy birthday to Ferdy. I wish I was more energetic to say this right now, but I am not. Although, you will hear the announcement though. Hold on for like 2 more minutes, Zora. Do not fall asleep. Or if you do fall asleep, just make sure you put your phone right next to your ear so you can hear me whisper you to the great sleep bond. Or put it real close to the ear so so that you can smell your way to the sleepy dream world. That's a fun. That's a fun. The lovely smelling. The lovely smelling. I will say the announcement is something I have been... what did I touch? I touched things I shouldn't have touched. Hold on, let me I want to fix my touching. Hold on, that goes there, that goes there, this goes to this.
Stars.
Okay, why are all the sound effects triggering now? Why is that a thing? Hold on. If you will you pass out? Interesting. Do we have a telekinetic way around this? That was just, for anyone wondering, that was just stretch noises. Apparently I sound like the mountain of... apparently I commit smell when I stretch. Ugh. God, I wish I had a graphic up for this, but I really don't, because I didn't have time to make anything. The announcement, and I'm gonna make other posts about this, is so-and-so was dying in the background? Well, maybe I was. Did you ever think that? Did you ever think that? Announcement. So, for those who have been around a while, know that I said at 1,000 subscribers I would be doing a 24-hour stream. I have been at that number for a while now and never did that. This is because my internet and YouTube and streaming and all that have had a horrific connection to each other. Or something or other, to the point that it has been, I could not, in good faith, try to schedule a 24-hour stream. Make it 24 hours to make up for it. I technically could, but also I don't want to push myself extremely. So, YouTube appears to have either changed the system or some level of failsafe. Oh no, my internet is still terrible. And still has drops of the bits, but it doesn't drop frames. I don't know who did what on what end. But it is now in a place where it doesn't drop frames. It will drop bitrate, so it might drop quality. But, Nemesis, shut up. That is going to happen. Now, the question I wanted to do is, it also happens to coincide near my birthday. Which I don't think I've ever publicly stated out loud what my birthday is, but hey, I asked at some point if people would actually care about that, and I got enough yeses to be like, yeah, screw it, we can try something like that. So I wanted to make it a 24-hour also birthday stream. Now, I had a question here, because my birth is in approximately 1.5 months. Actually, it's in, 1 second. The birthday is September 15. So from here, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks away, roughly. Roughly. The problem is, the 15th falls on a Monday, and the way I wanted to do that would be using GMT because that's kind of the time zone I've started scheduling my stuff in, and it would also kind of work out this way. Using that one, it would effectively be 24 hours, 100% around there. Happy belated birthday. But yeah.
Hi, Mark.
The end of the year already. Yes, it is. But yeah, for anyone who knows, I've dropped this as a hint. Hold on. I have dropped this. Why was that? Weirdly. I have dropped this as a hint several times for my birthday, and only a few people would ever get this. Love the sound alert being drowned out by the Regicide track. But yeah, the reason I've used this as a hint is because that was the Destiny the Taken King expansion that came out on September 15th. Yeah, no, that's not a reference to my channel. I think, genuinely, Lord Mazoric was the only one who that hint would be useful for. That is not even relevant to anything. That is a thing of, like, that is Destiny 1 Taken King 2015.
Mesoric, I summon thee.
Mazoric, you summon thee. I've shown him that hint and he didn't care enough to fully decipher it. But ironically, birthday is shared with the day of the one thing that I think most all of the Destiny community agrees to be the good of that. But like, I've given that as a hint, not with the expectation of anyone actually getting it, but it's just been the hint I give, and I'm just like, if people want to really decipher that one, they can. So the thing is, if I were to... Hold on, where is... Are you going to pass out? You enjoy your sleep. Night, night, sleep tight, cuddle up in your nice little silk. The thing is, with the way that works, with the way time works, the 15th lands on a Monday, so the stream would primarily be a Monday stream. Which I'm just like, So I was wondering, and I'm gonna pull this on, or I'm gonna put poll on community tab at some point, of... Should I do it on the day itself? Cuddling. You know what? If you want to, I won't stop it, I guess. You know what? Do whatever you want, Zora. You enjoy your sleep. Hourly convention you go to yearly. Oh, that's fun. But my question is, for the sake of people being able to be there, I guess I can just hold on. That. Okay, that's not back to what it is. That. I have a bit of an outline for how I want the time slots on that to go, but the question is, would it be better to do it on the day, even though that's a Monday? Don't do it back. Look, some might consider giving in to be the other form of the teasing, because my brain was trying to think of... Also, not gonna lie, my brain was just kind of thinking of other stuff, so I was like, I can't think of anything clever. Maybe just rolling with it will work. Maybe just rolling with it will act as the counter tease. Just keep your web out of my hair and we're fine, okay? I have a lot of spare body heat. I run hot, so I don't know, maybe you use that or something. Oh, purely for function. But yeah, I don't know. People here give opinions. Better to do it on the day itself, even though that puts it on a Monday for most of it. So, bearing in mind, for most... Using GMT as I do, because I for some reason decided that's the time zone I like to base my stuff around. Primarily because I know my audience is kind of all around. Yeah, hands going through the hair. Just keep your webs out of there. Just keep your webs out of the hair. Just keep your webs out of my hair. We're fine. You can touch it all. You can touch it all you want. I know it's soft, so I can't blame you for wanting to do that. Also, feel free to eat the heart if you want. I don't protect anything. I'm sure Ferd will be mad about that, but hey, that's a funny war that I can watch with popcorn. But gotta keep saying this. Opinions from people here. Do it a day early and do it on the weekend so that potentially more people could, you know, be there. Or do it on the day itself, even though that's a Monday, which is potentially awkward for some people being able to do that. Yeah, that's what I figured. I'll do a poll on that one. I'll do a poll on that one officially on the community tab. Not in here, because I realize this is going to be... Yeah, this is going to be that you're too tired to eat right now. Have you considered that eating would give you the energy to that would give you the... Wait, that sleep... Forget I said anything. I messed up my words way too much. I figured as much with that. I did figure as much. Ugh. Which are unbearably spicy anyway. Now you make me want to eat you because I enjoy spicy things. Look, if you're complaining about being eaten, don't make yourself sound appetizing to people who like spicy things and or masochists. Because the spice is lives. Yes, I specifically love grinding up ghost peppers into open wounds. Look, again, I am only oof. Oh, braining. Salmon. Yeah, what about the salmon? We still have the salmon. What about the salmon? What about our lovely Lord Terra King salmon? Bear salmon? Indeed. This is now a salmon stream. All hail the Terra King. Also, Zora, look, if it... Just all I'm gonna say is forgive me if I must use bathroom in the middle of night, then I must break your arms. I'm not gonna break your arms. Break free from your arms grasp. That's the way that goes. I don't need to break your arms. So, I say many weird things. The Terra King is always there, don't worry. The Terra King salmon is always there for us. Always there. I'll be in the web. Just keep the webs out of the hair. Look, if you're good, just tie my hair away from the webs. Cocoon me. I do enjoy being nice and cocooned. That is fine. Just again, you keep hair out of way. And hold on, I should probably say, 1 second.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Terror King and Doi. Doi is transcendence. Terra King is merely a king, but Doi is transcend. Doi. Pacific time. What the hell is Pacific time? Pacific time now. So that is that. That would be that. That would start approximately 5 p.m. for you, I believe. If I'm doing that quick math right. You go to pass out. You go before you pass out before you pass out, Zora. Don't. I was gonna say you've been lingering here long enough to make way too many cuddle jokes. You said you were about to pass out minutes ago. You go get rest. There you go. Pat. I'm apparently in a Patty mood right now. Pat, go sleepy. See, with the Ryoshi play. Are those supposed to ship by then? When are those plushies supposed to ship? Because I did order mine as well before the pre-order cutoff. Yeah, love you too, Zora. Good night. This is probably the only time I'm too tired to... It's probably the only time you'll hear those words exactly repeated back. I'm too tired to come up with anything clever. Yeah, okay, that's the line. I'm sorry, I just looked at the bottom left corner and I'm laughing at the little, promoted Windows news story. Dawn and Heathcliff. Dawn is one of the... I almost got Heathcliff, but I already had 3 ordered. And it's like... Shipping doesn't go up the more you ordered, it seemed. But it was like, the duties and tariffs went up every time, and it's like, God, these are starting to get quite expensive real quick. Because even 3 of them was like $80. Ours on the 14th GMT. It would be midnight. GMT would be the 14th. It's gonna be a little bit weird. It would be pre-day. Because the original idea would have been... currently the plan is go from midnight GMT to midnight GMT. I guess that would be on the 14th. I guess technically it just ends on the birthday, that one. But the all in your favor, you need luck, because baseball bats and British are bashfully dangerous. Yeah, the 3 I got were Ryoshu, Don Quixote, and Honglu. Those were the 3 that I got ordered. It just Ryoshu, or not Ryoshu. God, people, I keep having Ryoshu brain is friggin' sucked into me right now. Rodian, because friggin', I keep seeing Ryoshu in chat being mentioned. You hate time zone conversion. At this point, I'm used to it. Rodian, not Ryoshu, because Ryoshu is the most mentioned sinner in this chat by far, I'm pretty sure. So my brain is just too tired to translate things. God,
John Lemus has infected your brain with the Ryoshu, it seems.
Ryoshu. God, why is your voice like freaking... God, your voice is so unbelievably American, apparently. Ryoshu! Oh, Doi gets it right. What else was I gonna say? Apparently Doi is the less racist voice. Because he actually about to say Ryoshu as opposed to Ryoshu. Yeah, Doi hates Koreans, but he loves the Japanese. Because there's this frog. Look, if there is an abnormality plushies, I'm hoping they start with the Lobotomy Corporation ones, just because there are several I would get. Also, okay, this is a random... This is a very random thing that I want to bring up here. I want to make a video regarding Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, just because, God, that game got so screwed on my opinion of it because of the bug in the first chase. Or not even the first chase, the first encounter. The first real chase is like the Jackie chase. But God, that game first impressions are real important, and my first impression of the Mimic was his damned AI breaking, and that set a mood of the whole stream. Oy. Real restoration, exactly. What, you don't... I'm surprised Furret hasn't kidnapped... Never mind, Furret wouldn't be bothered to leave home. If Furret weren't so much... What was the opinion on security breach? That was back when I didn't want to say anything negative about anything. Like, I tried really hard to not... My security breach wound up... I never went back to finish the true endings. And unlike, should I take a second? Oh, I finished it. And actually, like, Stream 2... I have never had a harder 180 of my opinion of a game than Part 1 stream versus Part 2 stream. There was still an annoyance in Part 2 called save point bugging, because I got to a certain checkpoint, or a checkpoint bug. I wouldn't call it a bug. It's just bad checkpoints where I entered a room, the Chica office room, go in there, and I'm like, oh, this looks too much like forward progress, so I wanted to back out and do other stuff. So I did stuff for like 40-something minutes, went back to the Chica room, and died relatively quickly because I was being careless. And it turns out the game didn't give me a checkpoint throughout the entirety of the thing. Rant video about the game. Not a rant video, it's a thing about how first impressions can shape a thing. Or how, like, I will say, I've never felt more conflicted about a game, because I do feel, bugs aside, I feel like it is a drastic improvement to security breach, even in terms of bugs, I guess. We can include bugs. It is an improvement to security breach with bug-wise. But I just happened to see that bug, then we get a few more, that bug, then the more harmless lever glitch, which is apparently I did this several times, if you leave the range of a lever pretty much as you're grabbing it, that's how your hand gets stuck on it. Which I did several times, which was more of an annoyance than anything serious. Then another annoying thing is, I tried to hold on to the... the carnival game gun during the Big Top section. And for some reason, doing that made the honeycomb puzzle bug out. Where, like, my arm would just get stuck somewhere onto a thing. Which is really annoying when you get to the checkpoint bug. Later on, I'll get to that. But yeah, then, go through that section, and by that point, like, even, like, I'll openly say, the spring lock section, yeah, I get that one. That is completely on me for not finding a for just happening to walk past the switch. That's on me. But even still, I was more bored with the shooting gallery that was the section, like the Foxy show. I was so bored. I was so bored. You're like, yep, just run around and shoot these targets. This is engaging gameplay, question mark. Secret of the Bugs. It's interesting because I have seen, like, I've seen other gameplay playthroughs of it at this point. 2 of them. What is it? Markiplier and Astral Spiff. And I'm just like, they encountered very little to no bugs in their playthrough. Like, maybe 1 or 2 here. I'm just like, why did I get such a bugged playthrough? By the time I got to the Nurse Dolly section, I was already beaten down by, like, the really boring section of Shooting Gallery, which also had the bug of I was holding on to one of the videos, so that was showing through the spring lock for some reason. Apparently the game didn't account for you having a collectible while in the spring lock suit. The Nurse Dolly section was actually probably one of the better ones, and funny thing, I didn't realize this, I was staring at the Mimic when it ripped itself out of Dolly and jumped away. I just did not notice it. And then that was the end of that stream. Stream 2 starts. The floating collectible. Yeah, the floating collectible where it was, the film where it was just hovering off to the side of the spring lock. Then the Nurse Dolly section was probably quite fine, and genuinely the, the Magma Dolly thing that happened. Regardless of questions of how in the hell / what in the hell was Edwin making a bunch of this stuff out of, and there's another problem I'm going to bring up at some point later in this little mini rant. Then that ends that stream, started up. I actually started the next stream quite relatively well, but when we got to, past the Chica section, figured that all out, did some more collectibles. When we get to when we get to that checkpoint bug, I go around, I do some stuff, I get a checkpoint away, I get 1 checkpoint away from the Chica room, and I'm doing some other stuff, There's the other carnival game that doesn't have a gun at it, so you need to either have one stored or go to Big Top Showroom and grab one from Big Top Showroom, grab some other collectibles, and then I go back, do that one, and it's like, okay, cool, I don't know what the exact point of this was, but it was fun. And then I try and store the gun, go back into the Chica section, die, and it undid everything valuable from 45 minutes, and I'm just like, and the worst part was, it was a checkpoint that was a solid, if I was beeline booking it, it was a 90-second run from the checkpoint to the start of the Chica section I needed to do to progress. And I died a few more times, which this is kind of a compounding thing of I get frustrated, try and go quicker, end up dying, do the 90-second run, which annoys me more, then I do that again. Eventually get past that, which leads into the White Tiger section, which... that was actually just a really well put together sequence. I can say nothing other than it was, ignoring the fact of, wait, why is this why are you just able to teleport around? That doesn't make any sense. What the hell are you? This is just, ignoring the whole what the hell actually is that section in universe, the section itself was well put together for a gameplay perspective. Started to be like, wait, this is actually good. There was more good to the game. Like, genuinely, I was a bit more hypercritical of it before that. I will say, they probably, I don't know. Gameplay-wise was relatively fine up to that point. Like, it was nothing super standout, but it was serviceable. And the story, I feel, was a little bit really slow. Good entirely, hopefully. Like, the story was... I don't know, maybe some of the way some of the stuff was set up, it wasn't as well done. There were little bits and pieces here and there, obviously, like, it's, the broken family type storyline, which eventually led to all of them being dead and the only ones being alive being the robots. Which, I'll get to that part of this a little bit later. But, you go through the White Tiger section, which was genuinely good and genuinely, like, creepy. Get through that, do the upgrade. And then the final section of, like, the plot revelations of... obviously, the effectively 2 mimics, one being Fiona, one being the M2 endoskeleton. And then, you know, figuring out his Fazbear designs, the one email, which is apparently William Afton sending someone to steal some schematics for some stuff. I don't know the whole details of everything. And then the whole bigger reveal of Edwin's been dead this entire time. The Mimic just... Oh, there was a thing I didn't comment on. The Mimic learned how to be violent after... I'm sure a lot of people put it together and saw that, but once, Edwin lashed out at it for trying to mimic his kid. It's like, oh, that's where this thing learned how to be violent and aggressive. And then I did praise the final chase sequence out of the burning building. Just because the Mimic actually got to show off how it's an intimidating force. I made the comment of, oh, this thing just threw metal support beams away like they are nothing. That thing is actually a physical, imposing, terrifying thing to have chasing you. But yeah. And then get through the chase, the thing gets the thing, and the Mimic gets the schematics for itself and allegedly can keep making more of itself. I think that's the true ending. Maybe because I doubt the ending. I've seen the secret ending, which is you make the Mimic... Oh! This person's shrine. Yeah, it's a godly shrine, apparently. But I've seen the secret ending where, you know, you get the Mimic to effectively be a small child and be, you know, just go to bed. I doubt that is a canon ending, given how stuff plays out later. But a core problem that I came across later is at the end of the day, Five Nights at Freddy's was the dead children's souls in the suits. This is just a thing of rogue AI in a machine gone wrong. Even the story doesn't really feel FNAF anymore. I guess it's a ways in the past before all of that, but it's just... You know? The whole thing about FNAF in the original, like, before the lore got way too overcomplicated, before the everything and it was just like the first game, the simple thing was the books were a different thing. I have not read any of the books. This is coming strictly from a person who knows the games and liked, for the most part, one through Pizzeria Simulator and would have been perfectly fine. Like, there's a thing I like about a lot of the FNAF games, the early FNAF 6, is you could have ended the franchise almost at any point. I think the only time it would not have made sense for the franchise to fully end would have been after Sister Location, because that left way too many open things in there. But like, you ended at FNAF 1, it's just a silly little thing that, you know, is popular, but, you know, it's there. You ended at FNAF 2, we've brought it back to some stuff. There's still a lot of unanswered questions to theorize about. You ended at FNAF 3, that's, you know, the good ending. The good end of FNAF 3, the souls are set free. We now know that there's a face to the villainy. And you know, if it ended there, I think it would have been fine as well. FNAF 4 just goes back, gives a little more insight into some stuff, albeit it added some more questions with, you know, Fight of 83 instead of 87. I still don't even know the whole distinction there. But it was more filling in the past. I feel that could have ended there perfectly well as well. Sister Location, like I said, it opened way too many things to ever close on that note. And then Pizzeria Simulator, obviously, I think is the spiritual end of Five Nights at Freddy's. But yeah, I never delved into the books and stuff, but from the gameplay perspective, from the game perspective, the story of Secret of the Mimic just didn't feel... It just didn't feel FNAF, you know? Like, the story, obviously the gameplay, because we've been so far from the gameplay itself being a FNAF thing. Like, it was a well put together game. But the game almost didn't even need to be FNAF. Albeit, obviously, it wouldn't have sold as well, wouldn't have been as big of a deal if it wasn't. But the story that it was didn't even really need to be FNAF. and are correlated to the events of... Well, it kind of is. It's connected because obviously they added the whole thing of, like, that's where the original design of Chica came from. That's where Foxy came from. Oh, yeah, Roxy was there the whole time. And early things of, like, a gator design. I don't know. Because it's, you know, prequel stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's obviously prequel stuff. And then the Mimic ending up in the basement of the pizza... Does the Mimic canonically die after Ruin? I will say, after what we've seen the Mimic endure in Secret of the Mimic... If it ended in the alternative ending to Ruin, or if it died there, that is incredibly pathetic given what we know this thing can take. Again, insert the thing, like, it's a little bit weird. You are alive again? Welcome back to the Big Bird. Welcome to me talking about Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. But it almost, the Mimic feels more like a Terminator. Like, the Mimic chase sequence almost feels like you're being chased by the Terminator endoskeleton from the end of the first Terminator movie, as opposed to a Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic. But he basically is. He basically is. Which again, it's like, I don't know. It's... I don't know anything about any of the books. I've seen, like, cover art for them. But... I don't know. Secret of the Mimic just felt... The more I thought about it, it's like, it's a cool thing, but it just really didn't feel FNAF. You know? Aside from having the characters present. And again, my own experience was borked from the beginning because the first I saw of the Mimic was his AI breaking. He's still gonna be alive. Nothing stays dead. That's not even a FNAF exclusive problem. Like, just not wanting to actually kill anyone off or kill any entities off because maybe you want to use them at a later date. I mean, friggin' Halo, this is a weird thing. Halo's been doing that since Halo 4 because, correct me if I'm wrong, no one here is a big Halo fan, but from what my knowledge, the villain of Halo 4, the Didact, he was seen to be dead at the end of Halo 4. Then there were some comics that said he actually survived it. And then at some point, I think they retconned him to being dead because they decided they didn't want to do him or do anything with him. But it's just like, you're so uncertain of yourself. Kill it or don't kill it. I mean, to be fair, post-Bungie era Halo is its whole other can of worms that I'd rather... I've talked about that before. We have every Bungie era Halo. We have the Bungie era Halos that are quite well put together, but yeah, just there are some times where it makes sense. You know, just there's a difference. Well, not difference. There's a distance between having like a villain of the week one-off and dear God, nothing ever dies. We need to find a happy middle ground where there are still stakes and characters still die. But we're not just killing them off left and right like one-off villains, and we're also not giving them I always come back treatment. Those came out of the wild. People who have the movies are their own thing. The movies I actually like as a parallel timeline. For Nintendo's levels, yes, I'm still alive. Yeah, no, the movies are actually fun because it's effectively a new timeline. It's a new take on this stuff. It's separate from the overwhelmingly convoluted storyline that Scott literally made up as he went. Which is, you know, no, well, not to mention the games are now breaking from the book. Correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I said I don't know the books. I've heard Secret of the Mimic breaks some of the stuff that was in the books. Really well, yeah, which is really refreshing. It's almost like it's a hard reboot where it was very needed, and it's not the convoluted. It's not. One second. It's not super convoluted on the storyline. Like, it's a bit more straightforward, which people can have their, you know, ups and downs on that. But it's like I do enjoy The theorizing is fun, but it also doesn't make it a well-told story. I like to word it this way. Just because a thing makes you think doesn't mean it's a well-written story. Especially in the case of something like FNAF, where the audience did most of the writing until Scott was like, oh yeah, then we do this. Yeah, you can't really... I don't know. It needed to happen. Arguably, it could be done in the games as well. Like, Secret of the Mimic is also a lot more straightforward of a story than anything else in the games wise. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Does Secret of the Mimic break some book canon, which would in turn decanonize the books? Actually, yeah. So what is? I don't know the exact structural hierarchy of the FNAF canon priority. I would guess it would be games at top. That's pretty obvious. I would then guess movie or books would be secondary. Is there any other form of media? Oh, along the way, you know what's friggin' hilarious? Did you want to know how I got into Five Nights at Freddy's? Well, I'm sure the answer is I'm gonna tell anyway. It was a guy who was playing the game and was so like he was playing the game to on it. Like he opens his video saying, well, this is Five Nights at Freddy's, the demo version, because I have decided no one is getting my money for this game. And he just spent the time ripping into it. And one of the things he mentioned early on was he was like, oh yeah, the whatchamacallit. That's also how I got into Markiplier, because he mentioned, he's like, can't believe YouTubers have their scare cams like Markiplier and act like they're scared of this. I'm like, this jump scares can get you. That's also how I got into Markiplier, someone talking him. But I remember he was hypercritical, like one of the descriptions, I think it's still on the Steam page, hold on. Like he brought up this specific point, where's the Five Nights at Freddy's in my Steam library? Five Nights at Freddy's, go to the store page. It should just be on the summary here. Yeah, so what exactly, so the thing that he brought attention to was the whole line of, from your small office you must watch security cameras carefully, you have a very limited amount of electricity that you're allowed to use per night, parentheses, corporate budget cuts, you know. He was hypercritical of that line. He's like, oh yeah, you have a limited power supply because quote-unquote budget cuts. And I'm just like, in the back of my mind, and these 11 years ago feels so silly, of my brain I didn't leave a comment or anything, but I remember I had the thought of, this is just a silly horror game. Do you really think people care that much about the details of the story or anything? Little did I know everyone cared about the story details of the everything. But to be fair, I don't... It was... this is something I think, as well, Markiplier has touched on. Well, hey, you don't have to wait too long, it's only a few months away. But the FNAF games themselves just have good gameplay to them. Well, or following the book and not making stuff up. Well, they're following the books, but it's like an interpretation rather than a direct rip of what I'm interpreting properly. What are the how many games are out there because it could be good while being buggy. I feel Steel Wool is better. I'm actually interested to see how Secret of the Mimic VR ends up turning out, because that's still a project there. Every small detail, it means the world. Yeah, no, it friggin'... You can set some mysteries like Golden Freddy. I wonder if he ever intended Golden Freddy to be more than something than an Easter egg. Like, there are some days I wonder this. I don't know. Maybe he said it on record and I haven't seen the stuff, but... Yeah, Scott always enjoyed himself having fun, you know. The way he... I do remember at a point, I think it was around the FNAF... Yeah, it was around the FNAF 4, build up into FNAF 4 and then into FNAF World, where, interesting. I just went to scottgames.com to see if I could see anything. Hold on, just want to see. It is currently a black screen, for allegedly a black screen. Maybe it's got something hidden in here. Just I want to see it, but you know, hiding little things that you need to crank brightness on just to potentially see something, you know? Scott Games does seem to just seem to be a black screen right now. Oh. Yeah, nothing special here. Yeah, I remember Scott would just have the fun of that one, of just, you know. Way too much there. And when he did start putting some of the story stuff in the games, I do enjoy the stuff that is in. Alright, how dare you pee on me and then retract it? Ugh. How dare you pee on me and then retract it? Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Press enter in the wrong tab. What other streamer are you watching right at this very moment? Yeah, like I said in the description and out here, I didn't want this stream to be super overwhelmingly long. I guess the announcement sitting promptly in the right in the middle of it is a good way, but writing a thingy. P. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream, and like I said, this should be the only stream this week, because I hope to spend time on other things. The Chipper's son's coat were creepy. I know. I mean, it's the butterfly effect of everything, you know? It's the butterfly effect of everything. I've mentioned that. The butterfly effect has had a hell of an impact around me in general as well, so. But yeah, before I ramble on too much, I should probably get going. This moment over.
Chipper came back in FNAF World as one of the hardest bosses with a secret ending.
Yeah.
The boss being Chipper's revenge.
Well, manager, you deserve it.
I'm probably still gonna try working on stuff. I just won't be streaming as much. And also, I've played Risk of Rain 2. It's like, I don't know. It's that feels like a game you need to get autistic about, or to know what to do with stuff. Hold on, where is it? Like, it was gifted to me at some point. Risk of Rain. Rain World is the thing I was thinking about putting in there, but I've got some time. But okay, this is the actual last thing here, because I have some slots and a rough outline of how long I want them to take. Because I want to do... Okay. So I want to have opening be a karaoke to open it. Then I want to have... Oh god, I forgot to mention this during the actual announcement. I wanted to do a community art showcase or thing and just post that somewhere. That I want to go over and look at. I hope people would participate in that one. Then I have a time slot that I don't know exactly what I want to do with, like a 2-hour time slot. Then a 3-hour time slot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Primarily / only viewer duels or the likes. Then after that, an eating segment, because obviously a 24-hour stream, there will need to be food breaks. And that's the first roughly 7 or 8 hours. That is roughly 6 to 7 hours of stuff planned out right now, depending on how long that stuff takes. I need to get a better notepad to write stuff down on, because I like having that. But yeah. I'll be doing more planning, trying to sort some of that stuff out, but yeah. For now, this be the only stream of the week, so hopefully everyone's looking forward to the 24-hour the birthdays stream. Birthday / delayed 1,000 subs. But yeah. Thank you for coming. Hope everyone enjoyed. Look forward to what's to come. And as always, bye-bye.
Congrats on the 1.
Greetings, Zoras of the Egg. John Linwood's company, therapy employees, heart with aspirations, Ethan Hutchins, Digital Rebellion, Mindan, hello, and goodbye.
There is something hilarious about having a greeting play over the stream outro. That's just very amusing.